Ready, set, dive! Yeah! Greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully, and welcome back to Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. And yeah, as you can tell, much like Sora, Riku has his own storyline in the game. And in this case, yeah, he also goes through the same sort of dive sequences, but you'll find his story running strangely parallel to Sora's, in more ways than one. But yeah, to talk about anything else, yeah, if you already got the reward in the first dive sequence, I'm not too sure if you need to, like, get a gold rank with Riku as well in order to get his, diving bell keyblade, which is what you get by getting all golds on every dive sequence, but yeah, all that aside though is that, well, yeah, you get a keyblade if you get all the golds in these sequences. I don't, because, I don't know, I'm just not very good. Yeah, but on top of that, I also just really couldn't be arsed, so, you know, if you want to see what it is, find another video, and watch as Riku bounces up and down as he enters the bizarre realm of Traverse Town, given a very Shibuya twist. Excellent! And now to meet a very special World Ends With You character.
Am I in Traverse Town? My clothes have changed. Sora! Where are you? I remember we fell overboard after Ursula attacked, and then I think we opened a keyhole. So, this must be one of the sleeping worlds. My keyblade. It just sort of popped into my hand when I needed it most. Right. It started.
Wow. Where's your portal?
Huh?
It takes something special to jump between grounds without one.
Who are you?
My name is Joshua.
What do you mean, portal?
Are we just skipping past the part where you tell me your name?
Riku.
Hello there, Riku. Portals are like gateways that link up our worlds. Apparently, the world you and I are standing in right now, well, there are two copies of it. It's been sort of split in half. Portals are what let folks like us cross between them.
There can be two of a world?
The world is as many things as people need it to be. The concept that we all live in the same world, that's just in our heads. Surely you knew. I'll tell you what, Riku. I've got a little errand for you.
Sorry. I don't trust you.
Aw, at least hear me out. I'm looking for a girl named Rhyme. She's the key to the portal. And on the other side, who knows who we'll find? Maybe even your friend, Sora.
You know Sora?
Now I have your attention. But unfortunately, I don't know where he is. If he's not in this version of the world, I can only assume he has to be in the other one. Simple logic.
Okay. You want to find Rhyme? You got it. Let's go.
The idea that we all live in the same world, it's all just in our heads.
Oh, Joshua, you make a great case for schizophrenia and hallucinations, my friend. But anyway, yeah, Joshua, the world ends with you. I'm not going to say anything about Joshua just yet, but the fact that he's pretty much a character that has more info than he lets on, both in this game and in the original, well, yeah, less said about that the better, but let's just say he plays a very important role in The World Ends With You. He comes across as a lot friendlier in Dream Drop Distance than he does in the latter game, but that's just because I guess it's at a point before his role is revealed. Anyway, before I forget to talk about it, unlike last time, yeah, reality shifts. Click together your analog sticks, and you can interact with certain objects that have that little pink symbol on it, and you can use that to, well, you know, interact with objects and items in the world, and use them for context-specific things throughout the various worlds. You'll get a different reality shift depending on which world you enter, so, you know, you do get some variety, and to kind of clear things up from the previous part, no, I don't hate the reality shifts, I actually quite like them, but, yeah, it's just very sort of, context is necessary. But anyway, to kind of also talk about Riku's characterization compared to Sora, Yeah, unlike Sora, who's just like,
Cool, Riku, I found a shiny penny!
and was more than willing to help out Neko despite not knowing anything about him, you know, adding to his very friendly, jovial nature. Yeah, Riku, he's a lot more street smart. He's not quick to trust Joshua, but, you know, he's willing to see where this leads, you know, keeping his wits about him. And it's one of the things that make Riku a protagonist that a lot of people actually like. By the way, that's a link portal. You can actually borrow Dream Eaters temporarily for the world, as indicated by their little blue icon right there. You don't get to keep them for the entire thing, but, you know, it's neither here nor there in this case. Anyway, I'll talk more about Riku's character arc at a later date as we progress throughout the game and we see the differences between his mindset versus Sora's, but yeah. Let's just say that the game is squarely in favor of Riku more than Sora. But on to the next district, I'd say.
Joshua, why don't they ever attack you?
They being Dream Eaters? They won't go after you unless you're a dreamer. Which is funny, because I've got plenty of dreams.
But they're definitely attacking me. So, you think I'm a dreamer?
Every human being is a dreamer. I had a friend once who said he never dreamed of anything, but it turned out that his were the most powerful dreams of all. You sort of remind me of him. Why don't we give your dreams shape? In this world, they take form as Dream Eaters, which can become great allies.
And thus we get our Riku-esque introduction to the whole Dream Eater thing. In this case, it's with the Komori bat that I initially wanted to name bisexual, but instead I settled with Vamp, because for those of you who know your Metal Gear Solid 2, and I suppose your cultural terms,
Vamp is also a term for bisexual. Yeah, Sokolov.
But yeah, I wanted to give it a funny name, but it wouldn't let me do it, and I couldn't think of anything else creative at the time, so, in other words, Vamp. It's a cute little bat. But in any case, the same thing I said before in regards to anal cunt still applies. I'm not going to show off a lot of, like, the pet simulator interaction whatever things, because you've already seen it in the previous part. You already know the deal with the Dream Eaters, that you're meant to raise them, bond with them, and eventually improve your level enough so that you can get special abilities from the upgrade menu. So, yeah, that's pretty much the rundown and skivvy on that. In the meantime, as for anything else, and as you're no doubt hearing from Joshua, is like, everybody's a dreamer. Dreams are the most powerful things of all. That's also what I was mentioning in the first part, about how, you know, very Matrix Reloaded Revolutions-esque a lot of the dialogue is. It's very philosophically charged that, a lot of people tend to take umbrage with when it comes to Dream Drop Distance, and, by extension, Kingdom Hearts as a whole.
I got you now, Joshua! Once I take you down, yo, me and Rhymes is going back where we belong.
Beat! How many times do we have to go over this? You've been tricked by that rogue in the black coat.
What? Black coats? But that's...
I'm telling you, you've made a friend of our enemy.
Just can it, alright? Your inverse psychiatry ain't gonna work. Let's go, Dream Eaters! What? Ugh, man, not cool.
Aha, Daisuke Bito. That's his real name, by the way. As you're gonna learn later on anyway, but yeah, a lot of this is also still mirroring Sora's whole first trip, which is quite odd. I don't think it goes through the exact same tutorial beats, or at least to some extent, but yeah, it is still very much sort of teaching you the basics, and in this case it's linking with Dream Eater spirits. By the time you get that full bar, yeah, you link with, you know, Vamp over there, and you basically get like a little Darkness Slash ability, which is, again, taking the place of D-Links and Birth by Sleep, and, yeah, pretty much functions in the exact same way, and you do get very different, you know, link-up attacks with the Dream Eaters based on what Dream Eater you have, so you do get a nice pool of moves to play with, but yeah, as opposed to anything else, that's part of what I'm going to be showing off, and you'll see as we progress. Yeah.
You know what? Forget it. This is stale, yo.
Playing the tough guy 24/7? I'd be worn out too.
I just want to protect the one person who matters.
I know the feeling. Why am I suddenly so sleepy?
Where is he? They're both gone. Before I fell asleep, Neko said that he and that creep in the coat had a deal. But what was the deal? Are the two of them in league? That can't be right. We never even found Neku's partner. I guess I should just take a look around.
Oh dear. And this introduces us to one of the game's piss-poor mechanics. Yes, the titular mechanic in Dream Drop Distance, the drop mechanic. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but in the meantime, yeah, things are going a bit topsy-turvy with the organization apparently returning. And now for the Keyblade War. Delicious.
Long ago, in the age of fairy tales, the world was filled with light, a gift many believed from an unseen power known as Kingdom Hearts. You see, Kingdom Hearts was protected by its counterpart, the Keyblade, so that none could ever lay hands on its mysteries. But in time, the world was overrun by legions who wanted the light all for themselves, and the first shadows were cast upon the land. These warriors crafted Keyblades in the image of the original Keyblade, and waged a great war over Kingdom Hearts. We call this the Keyblade War. But though the war extinguished all light from the world, the darkness could not reach the brightness inside every child's heart. With that light, the world was remade as we know it today, with countless smaller worlds shining like stars in the sky. As for the real Keyblade, it did not survive the battle. The two elements that created it, one of darkness and one of light, shattered into 20 pieces, 7 of light, 13 of darkness. And as for the source of all light, the one true Kingdom Hearts, it was swallowed by the darkness, never to be seen again. As long as it remains there, even the brightest world will have its dark corners. After all, light begets darkness, and darkness is drawn to light. For this reason, some decided to use the Keyblade, a weapon designed to conquer the light, to defend the light instead. These were the first heroes of the Keyblade.
Yeah, I mean, apart from also explaining, like, tertiary terms specific to Dream Drop Distance, I believe this was also an attempt to kind of get people sort of up to speed on the off chance that they haven't played a lot of the Kingdom Hearts games, which was, well, to a certain extent a function that really served neither people, because I believe around about this time they had, yeah, I think the HD collections of Kingdom Hearts 1 and a couple of other games coming out to HD consoles at this stage, so, kind of wishing in one hand, shitting on the other, but then again, you know, you are getting, I guess, newcomers caught up to speed if they haven't played the previous game, so, dak waste. That's our reason for our bizarre in medias res, Yensid talking about things Motron. But in any case, to talk about the Dream Drop mechanic, you might be noticing that blue bar right down beneath the health icon for Sora. Yeah, that is pretty much your drop meter. Again, if that drop meter runs out, well, much in the same vein as what happened when Sora interacted with Neko and the organization member, well, basically that means Sora goes back to sleep, and then you swap between Sora and Riku throughout various stages. If you go into the menu, you can forcibly drop automatically and, you know, allow Sora to just catch some Z's via that method and have your drop meter restored. But yeah, as you're gonna be seeing, since we don't have anything to mitigate the drop meter as of this time, yeah, if you happen to drop in the middle of a boss fight, any health that was lost from the boss previously will be completely restored when you wake up again, and yeah, when you do fall asleep, you don't have to worry about, you know, characters attacking you. It's pretty much just swapping from one character to another, so yeah, everything in one dream realm pauses while the other character does their thing, then the other character wakes up, vice versa, the other character falls asleep, bada bing, you do the thing, and to kind of critique the drop mechanic, I see what they were going for, you know, the idea that the more you play through your dream realm, the character gets tired and does fucking doolally, whatever. But I mean, to be completely honest though, it's pointless. Like, I mean, what's the difference between, you know, swapping characters at the end of a level versus, you know, playing one story or the other, as how it was set up in Birth by Sleep, you know? And I mean, I feel like this is kind of indicative of how, like, part of the original game setup was intended to be. And, well, should I spoil this right now, or should I wait? Should I stare? Should I go? Yeah, you know what, fuck it, we're just sort of fucking around on the upgrade screen right now, so, yeah, Dream Drop Distance was initially intended to star Riku as the main protagonist, but they only included Sora as a secondary character due to fan complaints of not seeing, you know, the genuine article in Birth by Sleep and 358 over 2 days. I guess maybe Kingdom Hearts Coded didn't technically count because that was a data recreation of Sora as opposed to the genuine article, but whatever. I don't know. I guess maybe... Well, I mean, there is a slight plot reason as to why Sora was included, and I can imagine that he probably would have had a story presence here, but... Yeah, I suppose, and it's to do with anything else, he probably wouldn't have had, well, that much to do with gameplay. But I mean, in terms of Riku's relevance, you are going to be seeing exactly how this game was intended to fully feature him from the get-go, and that's, it's going to become very apparent as we, you know, slowly detail our way throughout the game and how much personal agency he has versus Sora, who really just seems to be just sort of doing his Sora thing, really, of just bumbling about worlds, helping out where he can, and just, I don't know, having a gas, really. Which, I mean, does kind of bring me, once again to the point about Sora's character. I mentioned it in passing in part 1 with, what the hell? Oh, right. Yeah, that's the giant panda bear's special ability. It lifts up a slab of rock and, stuns you with it. Or at least it can potentially stun you with it, but, yeah, I'll talk about enemy dynamics as we progress. Anyway, Sora's character, you know, the fact that he's very much like, wow, Riku, I found a shiny penny, and he seems very happy-go-lucky in this game compared to previous games where, despite being similarly happy-go-lucky, he was also a little bit better, you know, balanced and rounded as a character. Yeah, well, to be honest, I think that's entirely to do with two things. I guess the first of which is also partially to do with how they directed Haley Joel Osment to sound a little bit more younger than he was capable of, because, I mean, at this time, I think he was, like, already, like, a fully fledged adult at this stage. His voice had deepened as far as it could go, and, yeah, I guess he was still trying to find a natural register in order to, like, sort of reach the right octave of, like, what a young Sora would sound like. He does alter his performance when he does get back to, you know, Kingdom Hearts 2 Sora, so I can only assume that this was done purely for the Dream Realm and how he would sound as KH1-era Sora, but... yeah, the result can, at least to some people, they found to be quite irritating, but I did also sort of understand where this was coming from as we progress into Kingdom Hearts 3, which did sort of, well, for lack of a better phrase, kind of go into Sora's psychology a little bit more, and, well, I mean, to kind of prefix a line that sort of sums it up in Kingdom Hearts 1, remember, no sad face, this ship runs on happy faces. And, you especially remember that during that tragic scene where Sora sacrificed himself to save Kairi's heart when he became a Heartless. But anyway, look forward to the only Final Fantasy representation you'll be getting throughout all of this, the Moogles. Yeah, you don't get Sephiroth, you don't get Squall, you don't get any new Final Fantasy characters at all. So yeah, enjoy the Moogles for all they're worth, and Kingdom Hearts 3 would have been similar, but thankfully we get a visitation from Yuffie, Aerith, and Squall, and Sid as well, in a bonus bit of content. But anyway, it's time to explore new areas of Traverse Town, as the post office thing that we used to get synthesis items in Kingdom Hearts 1 opens up to reveal a new place. Down we go! Leave this area of the familiar. And the risk of spoiling potential levels that we might see in Kingdom Hearts 3, this area right here, like, despite being the, I guess, the post office of Traverse Town, feels like a test area for, like, a potential Monsters Inc. world. Does that mean we're going to be getting Monsters Inc. at some stage? Perish the thought. Well, I mean, it was, you know, a proposed world in Kingdom Hearts 2, I believe, so who knows, really? Who knows what we might be seeing? But this is also where you can start to use flow motion to its fullest extent. A lot of these areas are much wider in scope. Sora's movement is a little bit faster, so... yeah, that does also bring me to a second point. The fact that Dream Drop Distance, on top of being its own game, was also used to test out a few mechanics for Kingdom Hearts 3, so... yeah, wider open levels, flow motion, and the fact that Sora moves a lot quicker. Just testing the waters, as the Osaka team were pretty much going to be said to be the main developers for Kingdom Hearts 3 from here on out, really. Because I believe at this point the Tokyo team was working on I think it might have been Final Fantasy 15 as it was being finished off, but anyway, that's neither here nor there on this stage. Presents! Delicious presents! Whee! But in any case, though, with your ability to use flow motion, again, it's... Some could argue that it's a very broken traversal mechanic in the sense that it trivializes platforming, but I don't know, at the same time, I feel like the game works it rather well into, you know, not only giving the levels a bit of scope, but in turn also allowing you to, you know, really sort of traverse around the levels. And I don't know, zip by with a very, like, swift, fast, mechanical kind of refinement that, I don't know, just... It makes the platforming feel a lot less awkward than it did in Kingdom Hearts, you know, 1 through Birth by Sleep. And even though platforming wasn't the focus of Kingdom Hearts 2, I don't know. I feel like it does give the level design a little bit more meat and a little bit more exploratory depth. And, I don't know. Yeah, flow motion is just a mechanic I really enjoy. They do eventually sort of, balance it for Kingdom Hearts 3 since, you know, its mechanical, you know, flowiness, for lack of a better phrase, as we're seeing it here, is entirely intended for the Dream Realm, so in Kingdom Hearts 3 you won't be bouncing off the walls, but you will have some elements of it, like, you know, the dash ability and, you know, wall running and all that kind of stuff. So it does remain to some extent, but, you know, there are also places where they do sort of balance it out so that it doesn't completely trivialize platforming and make you just sort of... Oh, I mean, if I can just jump up here, then kind of just break the game, because, no, even if you do try and jump over the houses in Traverse Town or whatever, you know, you are still bound by invisible walls, so, you know, you don't have complete freedom to just run away and just bounce up and down, making craters in the ground. Yeah, that's neither here nor there in this case. We also have a fully linked charge for Anal Cunt, so we will be showing that off in due time. And the editor is lagging again. Ah, now it truly is like a traditional Skully Reviews thing. Ah, yes indeedy. By the way, I would also like to apologize for not getting this part out on time, because I am literally recording this as close to, you know, the time I'm uploading this as I can, because, you know, life scheduling has been a bit busy as of recently, and, yeah, not really too much I can do about it. Scheduling these things, as I mentioned previously, is getting a lot harder as, you know, your adult years continue and you have more responsibilities to take care of, but yeah, to kind of alleviate this, I am, you know, setting aside a bit of time, trying my best to, you know, schedule as much of these parts as I can, while in turn working on the next episode of Skully Reviews, which is the cancelled Silent Hill video, which, well, cancelled Silent Hill Games video, I should say, so yeah, I'm trying my best to juggle and balance everything. Which is quite funny, because the Media Nerd began his next commentary playthrough of Ben 10 Protector of Earth, and he got out 2 consecutive parts on time, while I'm struggling to get any of my videos out on time. Yes! Finally, he's getting the good luck, while I'm getting the bad luck. Whee! Flow motion. Wish I had flow motion, and I would bounce everywhere, and I would be unstoppable, and then I could conquer the world, and then we can begin. Well, that seems to be all the enemy encounters we can find here for the chit-chat. So now, as we progress throughout Traverse Town, actually, and there is one thing I do want to kind of bring up as we get out of the post office area, as it becomes a little bit more explicit as to, you know, how these extended areas of Traverse Town looks. It does, you know, very much resemble the places that we've seen before, but the one thing that I wanted to bring up is that, there are some areas that seem very sort of merged with Shibuya, and I can't tell if that was just because they wanted to tie it in with The World Ends With You, or sort of imply that both Shibuya of The World Ends With You merged with Traverse Town itself. But yeah, it's quite another thing, because I mean, you see some parts of Traverse Town that still resemble like the sort of the fantastical, you know, European shop areas that we've seen before, but there is also some aspects that feel sort of modernized in a Japanese kind of way, so yeah, quite curious. By the way, that's Spark, by the way. And to also talk about differences between Sora and Riku, yeah, they also have very character-specific commands. So, for example, Spark, as you saw over there, at least I believe it was, yeah, it's pretty much a Sora-exclusive ability, and then you'll get some darkness-based abilities that are Riku-exclusive. So, you do have some very tasty commands to play with between the two, so it's, you know, does make the experience rather different and also very fun to play with each of these characters' retrospective abilities, and you know, that's part of the reason why you want to go through the trouble of, you know, bonding with your Dream Eaters, unlocking their abilities, and at least investing in the system as far as you can possibly get to at least, you know, get some tasty treats to play with on top of the, you know, the linking abilities that you can have with your Dream Eaters. Both of which do change depending on how many Dream Eaters you have in your party. If you have 2 or more, you can unlock like a more powerful variant of the primary Dream Eater that you're trying to interact with. Or, you know, you can just have the first ability. Again, as you saw with Darkest Fears with Vamp, you know, that's pretty much that ability for Riku. But you can get some additional others as we progress. But again, you'll be seeing that as we go on. So I probably shouldn't be wasting my breath early on about game mechanics that could take up the space of later parts with more fun stuff to play with. Like the little rainbow. Whee! Dream mechanics. Woohoo! But in any case, so, yeah, this is pretty much what I'm talking about. Urban buildings. Lovely. Balloons! By the way, we're not playing Balloon Fantasy with Thingo and Wingo ever again. And, for the lack of anything else to say, I guess I might as well bring up some other sort of random trivia. Not really trivia, there was more of an interesting hoax, actually, but it was actually rumored that lightning from Final Fantasy XIII was going to appear in the game, but that eventually turned out to be a very elaborate hoax and a ruse, which was only really given credibility from some artwork that you're going to be seeing right here of, like, you know, a very kidified version of Lightning holding a struggle bat. Yeah. Kind of a shame, actually. It would have been interesting to see how Kingdom Hearts would have interpreted Lightning's character. Probably would have been the best idea, given that a lot of Final Fantasy fans don't really like Lightning that much. Then again, I don't know if the whole stance on Final Fantasy XIII has changed in the years since, so, you know, who knows really, apart from Final Hallway 13. And by the way, you probably didn't really get to see it, but that was, you know, Anal Cunt's ability of, bouncing up and down, making craters in the ground as his little link charge ability, so, yeah, that's pretty much it. Anyway, to talk about the Spark ability, that you didn't get to see because it was interrupted by this giant fat panda going, "Oh, I have a cape. I'm stupid." Yeah, Spark also has, you know, the 3 tiers of magic levels that you do also additionally see with stuff like, you know, Blizzard, Berserker, whatever. So, yeah, it's Spark Rush, Spark, and it does get gradually more powerful, you know, with every hit that you take. Well, not every hit that you take, with every successive ability that you get. But, yeah, that's all I really have to say for now. Oh, and this, The World Ends With You, the graffiti wall, cat, and the whole thing that inspired Neko to begin with. Yeah, by the way, to kind of talk about The World Ends With You characters, we don't actually get to see, like, you know, Honokoma, you don't get to see, fuck, what was the guy's name again? Like, the math-obsessed, dorkadoofus, Minamimoto, I think his name was? Yeah, I mean, you do get to see a few characters, but you don't get to see many of the Reapers, and in turn, you don't really get to see, you know, a lot of the other Reapers or anything in that game, so it's really just sort of the main protagonists and nothing more, really. Well, I mean, okay, I guess technically you do get to see one character who becomes a Reaper, but yeah, that's neither here nor there in this case. So I suppose to sort of elaborate on The World Ends With You while we're on the topic, yeah, The World Ends With You, the sort of basic gist of it, again, all the characters that you're seeing, you know, Joshua, you know, Neku, Beat, Rhyme, and eventually Shiki as we run into her, yeah, all of them are playing the Reaper's game. What is the Reaper's game? Well, basically, it's a game played by people who've died, and, well, technically they have an entry point to have a second chance at life, if they, you know, place their bets on something that they cherish most. In Neku's case, it's memories, in Beat and Rhyme's case, well, we'll just have to wait and see, won't we? And, well, I'll talk about Shiki's as we get a little bit later on, but in Neku's case it was basically the memories of his death and, well, who was responsible for it. Here's a hint, it was Joshua. But yeah, to kind of talk about anything else like, without going into spoiler territory, well, yeah, it's neither here nor there in this case. Anyway, they basically need to play through a set of challenges, you know, deigned by the composer, who was pretty much the head of the Reapers in the Reapers game, and by the time they complete all those challenges, they get a second chance at life. Or so the game goes. Yeah, they don't really touch too heavily on a lot of the World Ends With You stuff, but in terms of popularity, yeah, its appearance in Kingdom Hearts did actually give the World Ends With You a popularity boost, so yeah, I guess either Dream Drop Distance was part of the reason we have to thank for it eventually getting, you know, a final mix version for the Switch several years later, and in turn a sequel, Neo The World Ends With You. I do actually have, Neo The World Ends With You, but I haven't played it yet, primarily because I'm so fucking busy finishing reviews and doing commentaries and, you know, trying to play through stuff for Skully reviews so that I can finally finish it off and, you know, just get everything sorted, because I'm a busy lad these days. And yes, that's also another wonderful ability of the reality shift. If you damage Dream Eaters enough, or nightmares I should say, yeah, you can actually use them as projectiles, launch them upwards, and have them take down multiple foes. So again, there is actually a nice bit of a diversity in terms of how you fight your enemies in Dream Drop Distance, and again, I do quite like the Dream mechanics as you utilize them to take down specific enemies. It's, yeah. It gives a lot of distinction between this and Birth by Sleep, and I don't know, I find it quite fun to be honest, but as we approach, that large arena-looking area here, I sense arena shenanigans! Oh no, it's Big Panda Man! Sora, you can't take those out, those are going extinct! Well, I believe, are the pandas still on the endangered species list? I don't know, I haven't really checked my, you know, my species endangerment things as of lately. Ooh, ice cream! But those are for the Dream Eaters. Lucky Dream Eaters. I want some ice cream.
Wow! Never been this way before! Ooh, what's that? Hey, any chance you're Neku's partner?
Huh? I'm not really sure. All I know is that my name is Rhyme.
You mean, you've lost your memory?
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
It's no big deal. You know what they always say. Sometimes memories just need a little help getting out.
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
Huh, a little help. I know. Maybe Neku can jog your memory. Come on, Rhyme, let's go find him.
Right.
And so now we meet, well, somebody who should have been our partner character, but thus Dream Eaters. Anyway, that's Flick Rush. We'll be getting to that in a little bit, but yeah, anyway, that was that was Beat's sister, Rhyme. And I think the original game might have played it up a little bit more than Dream Drop Distance, but yeah, they kind of play up the ambiguity of Rhyme's gender for some reason. They're not really too sure why. I don't know though, I do actually quite like Rhyme's design. It's it fits like the very sort of street punk aesthetic that you know, The World Ends With You was going for. But anyway, this is the water barrel plaything for your Dream Eaters. I don't do a very good job of it here, but the basic gist of it is you're basically meant to be collecting you know, certain goal points, you know, utilizing your Dream Eaters to get both of them up at once, and you have a little ocean jet that's used to, well, you know, spray your Dream Eaters across so that you can max out your point threshold, and eventually collect treasure chests to increase your points. Bada bing, you do the thing. That's really sort of it. I don't do a very good job of it here, but at least you have an idea of, you know, what happens. You basically have a certain time threshold in order to unlock points. I should have been using the water blast jets to do more things. Oh, the X. Oh my god, significance. The X makes it sound cool. Yeah, I'm not doing very well here. And by the way, the bombs don't actually hurt you, they actually meant to, you know, boost you up a little bit. Oh. This sounds like a cute cat theme song where cats do big flops and just roll around like a big long sausage. But in any case, this is, well, this little Colosseum area is the other major place in which you'll be utilizing your Dream Eaters. You do pretty much need to go off inside, you know, get some additional Dream Eaters, as I did in between the breaks before I, you know, decided to play Water Barrel Thingomotron. So now we have both another little bat over there, who I decided to name Terry McGinnis, because I'm the most mature person, and in turn, well, yeah, you need 2 or more Dream Eaters to enter, and by the time you do that, well, lucky you, then we can play through Flick Rush, which is pretty much the only other thing you'll be using your Dream Eaters for in the Colosseum right here. And it sort of serves as a similar purpose thing to the Mirage Arena, where, again, you win rounds in Flick Rush, you can buy options in the shop right to the side over there, as you'll be seeing by the time we finish anyway. But anyway, this is a cup you can also complete. I'm only showing this off once, because you know, showing it off to show what you can do, what the whole mode is about. Basically, you pit your Dream Eaters against some others, and in a very similar vein to, you know, Chain of Memories, you're basically having card battles. The higher value your card, the more powerful abilities you have, and you're pretty much just trying to outwit your opponent by flicking your cards, having them reload, and basically you're just pitting more powerful Dream Eaters against, you know, your enemies once, and pretty much ensuring you claim ultimate victory. In terms of the mechanical depth, you basically have them pitting, you know, their traditional attacks as you've seen during the gameplay. And in turn, also trying to make sure that your, you know, cards outwit theirs whenever you get into a little clash like that, so, yeah. Just make sure that you can outfox your enemies, and bada bing, you do the thing, you advance to the next round, get some delicious Flick Rush points. And, yeah, this is also part of the primary reason why you want to improve the grade of your Dream Eaters. Again, they go from pretty much E to S, I believe. And, yeah, the higher your Dream Eater, the more powerful they are in Flick Rush, and, you know, the more damage they do in terms of, the stat abilities, in terms of the primary gameplay, so, yeah. So, with this little roulette wheel, you basically want to make sure that all your abilities match right then and there, so, whew, hanging on by the skin of my teeth. Oh no. Anal cunt is gone! But now, Terry McGinnis, the Batman of tomorrow, will have to take up the reins. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to Flick Rush, just having your Dream Eaters fight for our amusement, and just sort of do their best to, you know, claim victory and get you some certain abilities at a much earlier point than you'd otherwise get them if you're one to invest in it. I mean, you do technically fight off against certain opponents that you only really know through text, like, I mean, for example, we have, you know, Sora facing off against, say, for example, like, oh look, we're fighting off against Heino, even though he's not meant to be in Traverse Town, or, you know, they'll throw in some world-ends with new characters like, you know, Shu Minamoto or whatever. Even though we don't see a portrait or anything, or even reuse stock artwork. Whatever, we'll just pretend that we're fighting against them. Because fuck it, why not? Yes, now I claim the victory against that little lizard turtleoid thing. Bells! At long last. But yeah, all that aside, that's Flick Rush, and I hope you're enjoying all these extracurricular activities while you see them, because, yeah, that's pretty much the last of them, which I suppose does also illustrate a bit more of a difference between Birth by Sleep and this, is that there's a lot less extra chaff that you're going to be doing in Dream Drop Distance. I guess primarily because they were mainly focused on the story, and, you know, I guess maybe wanting to get Kingdom Hearts 3 under the way, which, I mean, 2 years after the fact, they did actually finally announce, and then, you know, have the lengthy development process of Kingdom Hearts 3 by the time the whole Final Fantasy Versus 13 thing fell apart, but, it's a different kettle of fish entirely, so, yeah, I'll stay my tongue on that. But yeah, the only other extracurricular thing at this point that I think I'm really going to invest in is, the Super Boss, which, yeah, I mean, is something that you also fight in Traverse Town, but we won't be getting to until the very end of the game, so, yeah, I'd say from, around about this part on, it's, apart from showing off, like, some of the other, like, trading toys you can interact with your Dream Eaters, it's pretty much plot stuff from here on out, so, yeah, not really too much to say as we have Vampire Bat on Vampire Bat crime. A dream deferred is a dream denied. We did it! And I actually thought I'd lost there for a second, which had me a bit disheartened, but I don't know. I won! Finally, I know what it's like to be a winner. See how new it is? You win! Are you ever gonna come back? No! Although, I mean, I do believe off-screen I did actually come back here at least a couple more times. Yeah, you do also get ranks and some other shit that I never really bothered to invest in as I got over here, but again, you do gradually unlock more training cups, advance across levels, and, you know, get better Dream Eaters, whatever. It's meant to encourage you to engage with the Dream Eater mechanic that they put so much work in. But yeah, you can buy additional stuff here like paints, special abilities, a bunch of different things for your Dream Eaters. Not really too much to talk about here, so I think it's about time we were moving on. This part probably wouldn't have been as lengthy as it otherwise would be if it wasn't for the fact that, well, yeah, we have mechanics to engage with. And more violence. It just never ends. There we go. Delicious. And, I probably shouldn't have wasted my time fighting these enemies, because as you can see right there, yeah, my dream meter, it's, starting to get pretty low. Sora's really tuckered himself out after all this adventuring, all this, time, you know, investing in Flick Rush. Yeah, the drop meter, that's gonna cost me later down the line. Oh well. Anyway, we finally reached what would be the end of Sora's stage, but, yes. As you can no doubt tell, things are about to get quite heavy from here on out.
Hey, Neku, it's you!
Sora. What? You actually still trust me?
Of course I do!
But you know that I tricked you, right? That guy in the black coat? He said he could send me home. Me and my partner. But I had to bring you to him first. Sorry.
No big deal. When it really mattered, you stood up for me. And besides, we're friends, right?
Friends.
Oh, hey, Neku. This here is Rhyme. Is she your game partner?
No. Sorry. I'm teamed up with somebody else.
Huh? What? Rhyme! Neku! Huh? Hey, wait! Out of my way!
Oh my god, it's the Fucko Monkey! But yeah, this is Hulko Monkey, pretty much meant to be our boss for the stage, and I would get into the mechanical depth as to how you fight this thing, but unfortunately, as you can tell with my drop meter right over there, yeah, Sora's basically going to be catching some Z's right in the front of this hulking King Kong-esque beast that looks like he fell inside a kid's play area and fell into a trash bin. Anyway, this is finally showing off, you know, anal cunts bouncing up and down, making craters in the ground ability. But yeah, there was no way I was gonna beat this boss at the level Sora is now, with the drop mechanic slowly wearing down. You do technically get some abilities later on called drop units, which can pretty much be there to restore the drop gauge back to its fullest extent, so you don't have to worry with the drop mechanic, but really, yeah. The less said about that, the better. I'll get into more of that next time, but yeah, in the meantime, Sora's feeling a bit tired, and it's a good thing that the Fucko Monkey doesn't decide to beat Sora up in the meantime, but yeah, fuck it, I'll talk about this a little bit later. This is why I recommend watching these at night, because, you know, I'm ending these parts as the characters go to sleep, so, yeah, on that note, I think it's about time for bed, so I'm Solidus-Skully, keep it new metal, and next time on Dream Drop Distance, yeah, we'll be seeing Riku. Good night, everybody.